Welcome to Living Life with James, the podcast where real stories and real conversations help us to make sense of life. From personal journeys to expert advice, each episode gives you something useful, whether it's a new way to think about things, a helpful tip, or just a reminder that you're not in this alone. Let's keep growing, keep connecting, and keep living life together. Today, I'm sitting down with Heidi, a therapist, a mother, and most importantly, someone who's been open about navigating dating midlife. So today, what I want to do is say therapist hats off.
Okay.
I really want to be able to talk about what it's like to date in your 40s and 50s and things that people don't get to hear. Right? I want to hear about, the confusing parts, the funny parts, and everything in between, because this normalizes things for people.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for doing
Yay!
this.
Well, let me tell you, it's weird to take the therapy hat off because I don't ever talk about myself in anything, to any capacity. So this is a treat.
And we usually get this time together. So I appreciate doing it on camera and sharing with other people. But listen, Heidi, before we get into things and we start talking about dating, I want to know, what do you think would be helpful for people to know about the version of you showing up now?
The version of me now is a woman that's ready. Like, I have been a mom, a single mom. I am a therapist, like you said, but I'm a person who has just lived in this bubble for so long. And now, after doing the reality show that we were on, coming off of that, I mean, that truly pushed every boundary I possibly could have. And it's easy to go back in the bubble. So
as we talked about,
So for me, like, dating was the next step. My daughter's getting older. She's 15 and a half. I've really focused all my time on her and work. And so to have a little more free time, I'm ready. Like, I was like, let's do this.
You're ready to do this.
Yeah.
The reality is you're saying, I'm showing up in a version to say, I'm ready for new experiences. I'm ready to try things out differently. So here's the big question. What is different now? Dating now than it was in your 20s and 30s.
My God. 20s and 30s, man, I was looking for someone to have a family with, to like raise my daughter or not raise my daughter, to have my daughter. And I think the big thing was I was dating with purpose, but the purpose was to develop a family. Now, today, I don't need to develop a family. I don't want to develop a family. I just get to find someone for me. And that's beautiful. And I love that.
You're really bringing up the topic of kind of the different decades. Who we are in our 20s and what that looks like and what you're seeking, maybe wanting to create a family, wanting to have children, and even 30s.
Oh my God, right. Well, 30s more so, right? I think you're ready for that. But man, 40s and 50s, it's a different ball game, and it's actually a lot funner.
I want to get into that because one of the things I was thinking about is, what I hear from people, the energy. The energy looks different in your 40s and 50s.
Yeah.
So what do you mean fun, like more fun, more energy? What do you think?
I don't have to worry about having a child with this person. I get to solely just be me, go have fun, enjoy. Because the kids, they add a lot of stress to a relationship.
Absolutely.
So to date, just for me, whatever I'm looking for, to go on dates, to see how men navigate, how women navigate, like, it's been amazing.
I'd imagine the expectations could be a little different.
100%.
Right?
Well, 100%. My expectation was much different in my 30s than it is now.
Okay, so saying that, what's something different about dating now? Would you say that maybe something different about dating now that could make you laugh? Something that you just feel like could be funny, you would shake your head at, something that could even be cringy, if you will.
Okay, well, I could answer all those, but the first one I will answer is what's different now for me is dating apps. Yeah. I never had those when I was in my 20s and 30s. So this is like, I'm not only dating again after marriage, I'm navigating it through an app.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Yes. I'm pausing for a second because it's taking me, we're dating ourselves by literally dating ourselves by the apps weren't around. No. It wasn't a thing.
No.
So navigating that, it's a whole different world.
It's a whole different world. And there's all kinds of scary, crazy things. Like you said, the word cringy, like, people giving pictures that aren't really what they look like. They might be from 20 years ago. And
Not
then you
catfish,
see them.
A catfish.
Yeah. And now I've learned, because I've done it, I have learned, how recent are your pictures? And do you still look the same as your pictures? Because it's not fair to see
I agree.
these pictures and then you walk in and maybe 20 extra pounds or 40 extra
Yeah.
pounds or look completely different.
And
No,
you know what's sad, Heidi? I think many people do this.
I think so too.
Yeah. Because they want you to see, oh, look at me.
I
Look.
was good
Yeah.
looking.
I've even seen social media clips where people are like, look at my dad back in the 20s.
Yes.
And people love showing what they looked like.
Yes.
Don't forget, but this is 20 years later.
Yeah. And everyone looks differently. And I understand it's not all about looks. That's not what I'm saying.
But you got to keep it real.
But I want to be attracted to the person,
Yeah.
and I want the person that I'm seeing to be the person I
Yes.
meet.
Speaking directly to anyone that is out there on these dating apps, please make sure you are putting updated photos, your profile picture, any photos you're sharing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I can't imagine you're looking at, oh, he's sexy, he's hot, and then you see somebody in person and it's like, wah, wah.
Yes. But you just made me think of the most cringiest thing that 40 and 50-year-old men do, probably more than any other men, is they take the picture of them in the mirror with their phone in their way. And it's so gross. I'm always like, ew.
Okay, but you're mentioning a whole other thing out right now is what gives you the ick.
That gives me the ick.
So I'm sure give you that. But listen, bless their heart.
Yes, they're trying.
There's a learning curve, right, with being on these apps and taking selfies.
Yes.
And, I mean, we can laugh and yes, it gives you the ick. But I'm having a moment thinking like, that's a lot to learn.
It's a lot to learn and a lot to navigate for people my age, right? Like, you're not going to ask your guy friends, like, can you come take some pictures of me? So I think that, yes, I think it comes by naturally and honestly, but it's still kind of ick.
Yeah. But actually, no. Yeah. Ask a best buddy.
Yes.
Ask a friend or a girlfriend or an ex that you're cool with to say, oh, can you give me some advice or come take a few photos of me?
Yeah.
Because if you're going to put yourself out there, you need to come correct and do it right.
Correct.
Okay. So I want to know, I was thinking about things that could be, cringy, if you will, or funny. And I'm thinking things like, not even cringy or funny, but things that could affect us. Ghosting, breadcrumbing. People are talking about situationships and all of these things that actually everyone goes 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, everyone. But what is it like in your 40s and 50s to have to be ghosted or breadcrumbed and felt like, what is that like now?
Oh, let me tell you, at first it takes a hit on your self-esteem, because what you do is you're like, why were we talking for 5 days and now it's nothing? Or they're gone. And it's easy to be like, what's wrong with me? Did I do something wrong? But I have to say, what I've learned for me is that I'm not getting caught up in that, because I've ghosted somebody. And I've been done with the situation, and I didn't feel like I owed them anything because it wasn't anything. We never even met. So I think it's easy to do, but I will say you can't take it personally, and you've got to get a thick skin, which it has taught me and I love, is that it isn't me. Maybe they found somebody else. Maybe somebody was a better match for them. That's okay. And I don't feel like I'm owed an explanation because you're not interested after 3 conversations on a dating app.
Listen, I can't agree more. And I feel like these words are the words of wisdom and gold. You also have a little bit of the experience and many years of being a therapist. So there's been self-actualization and awareness and growth. So you can appreciate things and you have a different perspective. I can't imagine having someone completely ghost and it hits. It hits and it probably takes a toll, and the negative thinking and it could pull you downwards. Yeah. So to hear what you're saying, we need to remember, right? Well, A, I may do it too, right? And B, I can't allow this to hit me personally.
Correct.
I can't internalize this. I have to move forward.
Yeah. And I think that's good. That's where we grow, is when we only grow when we're uncomfortable. We don't grow when we're feeling our best. And when we're uncomfortable, you have to take that lesson. And I think that's what I've done. I'm like, I have refused to get down on this. I'm like, okay, what's the lesson for me? And that's all I do. And when I say that to myself, I'm like, okay, let's go. Because that's all I can do. I can't control them.
I wish we can bag that, but it's almost like magical little, a little magical potion and sprinkle it on people because this is what we need to remember as we're going through this process.
And to put my little therapy hat on real quick, I tell my clients all the time, sit in your shit. Because
what do you mean by that?
When I tell them that, that means like, stop complaining about all the stuff happening. Focus on you. If it's uncomfortable enough and you don't like it, you're sitting in it, right? Yeah. So therefore, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to keep sitting in it, or are you going to do something about it?
Just sit in it. I don't like the way this feels, but I need to just become comfortable with it.
Yeah. And that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
So that's what I'm happy about.
I want to laugh because I can't imagine. I'm thinking, 20s and 30s, how I would send messages. And God, I was going to say texting. I wasn't texting.
No, you were not texting.
I was texting in my 20s. Yeah. But the difference in writing. So fast forward, I can laugh at punctuation now. It's they, their, the theirs, and THEIR, TH.
Your.
Yeah. And there's even, videos and TikToks of people writing these messages on the bathroom window, and then somebody comes back in with the lipstick and they correct. They put the apostrophe and right. I'd get a little like, oh gosh, they can't spell. They can't. The little things we pick up as we're older.
I know, and I think you're supposed to overlook that, but I think that punctuation that we've been nailed with in grade school.
We're older. We look, we're a little more seasoned and refined, and we think about things differently now.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, I got a good one. I want you to fill in the blank, okay?
Okay.
So I want you to pretend you're sitting on the couch with your girlfriend and you have a glass of wine, right? And she says, Heidi, I want you to fill in the blanks. Dating in your 40s and 50s is...
Dating in your 40s and 50s is uncomfortable. And in uncomfortable, I mean like uncomfortable in a good way and uncomfortable in a bad way. The bad or uncomfortable side of that for me is that it pushes me outside my comfort zone.
Okay.
I'm meeting people who aren't who they say they are, or they, like we saw, ghost me or whatever. But the reality is that also builds me as a person. So the uncomfortable part of this is I'm growing.
Yeah.
And every single date I've been on is getting me closer and closer to that person, I believe, because I'm starting to understand this process. And I am understanding the fact that I'm not going to find my person, because you think that you're going to meet them right away and that's it. That's not how it works. And when you start to understand this, it becomes easier.
We all need to feel a little uncomfortable, because here's the age piece again. I'm going to keep it real. In my late 40s, I want to be on the couch.
Yeah.
And I want to be in my comfies, and I want to be snacking or Netflixing or watching the apps or whatever. And I want to relax.
Yeah.
So I could see saying, I got to get dressed. I got to put it on. Sometimes I may not want to socialize. Sometimes I may be in my bubble. I need to turn it on, which is actually good for you. Go socialize. Go meet somebody new.
Yeah.
Get out of that comfort zone. And do it.
Yeah. And have no expectations. I think that's a big thing, is if you don't have expectations, that's amazing, because you go in, you can have a good time with anybody. And it's just a person you met.
I'm glad you're saying expectations, because one of the things I wanted to ask you is maybe what's a dating rule that you used to follow that may look different now, or that you would absolutely laugh at now? I used to do this when I was younger. Not doing it anymore.
Well, one thing is definitely, I think the expectation is that the guy always paid for everything. And I think a lot of women still have that viewpoint. But the reality is I don't think it's fair to expect a man to pay for you just to go meet them. What if we don't like each other? What if it's not mutual? I think that's a lot to put on a person. So for me, I kind of laugh at that, because back in the day we dated with intention, right? They came up, they asked you out, you knew that you liked each other, but here we're going in blind. So for me, I'm like, on a meet, which is the first interaction. It should be easy. Like, go have coffee, go have tea, whatever, go have a drink. And then you say, I always say, I'll get my half. And usually, not always, but one person took me up on it, but the rest are like, it's fine. But yeah, I'm like, I don't think it's fair to have that expectation.
I'm so glad we're talking about this, because this is actually, and shows where you are in this process.
Yeah.
And your maturity and all of this and your experiences, the reality is this is a controversial topic.
It is a controversial topic.
Some people will say, hell no, the man always pays and it should be that way. And we're going to get into this in a second, but talking about chivalry and what that looks like.
Yeah.
And then some people say, yeah, you know, I don't know who should pay, or I'm not going to pay, or.
Listen, I have talked to a couple guys, because when you go on a date, you kind of share your little bad stories. There are women that I've heard where they're like, where would you like to go? Where would you like to meet? And they pick the most expensive steakhouse there is. And they're just like, what? Like, we're just going to meet. But some guys are getting taken for a lot of money. So I would just highly suggest anyone watching, please just go in on the first one, being willing to cover your half.
Well, you know, I think that's what looks different. And I've heard women say, I don't mind covering, at least in the beginning, my part of the bill splitting, but I want to see effort, right? There's a difference, right? At least make the effort. And then I've heard men say, listen, I don't mind paying the bill, but what I want to see is someone that's genuine, someone that is actually showing up and that's really interested, someone that's curious. If you're curious and you're really into me, I got this.
100%. So going with no expectation and thinking I'm going to pay my half. And if it doesn't work out that way, that's great.
The expectations are a big part. Yeah, and they can trip us all up, right?
100%.
Chivalry. Let's talk about this for a second. It's a nice little segue. What are you seeing? I guess there's two parts to this. What are you seeing in 2026? But more importantly, what are you seeing for people that are in their 40s and 50s doing this?
I've seen a lot of it, which I'm surprised by, I have to be honest. I didn't expect it, but there's one guy in particular that I went on a date with, or a couple anyways, and he is just genuinely like nice and has manners and opens the door. And it hasn't just been once or twice, it's been consistent, which I find very attractive.
Consistency.
But then there's the guys that, you know, I've had a couple days where guys showed up 25 minutes late and don't think it's a big deal. And that pisses me off.
Well,
I don't
it's disrespectful in my opinion. I agree.
It is. Yeah. So,
because it's sending a message loud and clear.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, accidents can happen and things. I get it, but yeah, it doesn't set a good tone.
No, it doesn't.
You know, that brings me to the concept that people say, or I still think chivalry is important. It's evolving.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts with the concept of evolving? And when I say what it's evolving, that topic comes up. It's evolving in that what it needs to look like at this point is respect. You know, it needs to look like presence and listening. We've talked about this, you know, the old school, pull my chair out, hold my door. Those are nice.
Sure.
That's even, I want to feel a little, right? Treat me a certain way and hold the door. But what people are saying, I want consistency.
Yeah.
I don't want to show. Don't do this if you're not going to be genuine.
Don't do this if you're not going to continue it.
Boom.
Yep. Because any guy and any gal can definitely show their best behavior in the first, many dates.
Yeah.
But is the long haul. And if we stay together and we continue and we become something, is that still going to be on the table?
We want patterns.
Yeah.
We want to see patterns. And back to your point, we want consistency. That's going to be the word of the day.
Yeah.
Consistency.
Agreed.
Right? Yeah, because you can show up on date 1 and 2 and look cute and say, I'm this most chivalrous man and holding the door. But this needs to continue. That's the most important thing.
Agreed. Yeah.
I got some quick one-liners for you. I want to know what comes to mind.
One-liners? Okay. I'm not good at that. Okay,
let's just try it. Ready? Apps. Love them or hate them?
Love them.
Ooh.
Now, I don't think I would have said that, but they're here.
Yeah.
So either I embrace it or I fight it. And if I fight it, it's going to make this process really difficult. So here I am in this world. I'm an immigrant to technology, right? I wasn't born into it.
Yeah.
So I have to embrace it. And that's what I've done.
Heidi, that's such a great perspective, because here's the reality. No matter if you're born into it or not, they can be a lot. And I hear so many people say, I delete them. I don't have anything. I delete them and then I'm back on. I delete it, which leads me to, this is a whole other topic of what it does to the brain and the chemicals, and you get the hit and you get the like or deleting, and it can mess with your emotions.
100%.
But I'm loving the apps right now, you're saying, and sticking with them.
I'm loving them, even though days I hate them. But at the end of the day, if I'm going to meet my person, I have to put the work in, because they're not going to just knock on my door.
It's good to hear you say all of this. Chemistry and consistency. Which one wins for you now?
Oh, my natural instinct is to say, I just forgot the two words. I said consistency, chemistry
and consistency.
I want to say chemistry, but I know I can't.
We've had this talk. And look, you're keeping it real. I always say it. It's important. Okay.
So chemistry for me is very, very, and has always been important.
Well, for many people, almost everyone would say, I have to be attracted to you.
Yep.
But there's a fine line here. I have to be attracted to you, but where does the consistency piece speak louder?
Well, for me, honestly, if I'm really looking at it, the chemistry what has gotten me in trouble. I think that I pick the wrong person because they come on heavy and I eat it up. I'm just like, this is so fun. Yes. But the problem is that fades, right? Like sometimes then maybe they back away, or maybe it's a come here, go away kind of relationship. And then that starts to mess with you. So for me, consistency has to be the forefront, but it's hard to say because that's where I go.
Yeah. This is where we would have Patty Stenger, millionaire matchmaker, sitting right here, and she talks about your picker, right? Your picker is this idea of I want the 8, 9, or 10. I want that attraction. But 40s and 50s, you're saying, look, I can still have that, but it's important for me to take a step back and see there's more than what meets the eye. And I know that's got me in trouble in the past.
Yeah. So I have to break patterns. I would be a walking hypocrite if I didn't.
Yes. We're trying our best one day at a time.
That's right.
A red flag for you, Heidi?
Oh, there's many.
Okay.
But I would say, honestly, 2 of my big ones are a man that has small children.
Okay, because?
Because I don't want to raise kids again. And I don't want to be part of that system again. My daughter's getting onto the age where she's, dang near in college soon. So I don't want to do that again. I don't want to be a step parent like that. No. I think children are beautiful and that's wonderful. But for me,
been there, done it.
Yeah. I dated a guy recently that had small kids. He was amazing. Yeah. But you know what? The small kids, I'm like, I know they're there. They're there somewhere. And at some point I would have to be involved in that.
And I'm sure some people can relate because, again, here's the idea of I am 40s and 50s, and what do I want the rest of my time to look like, as I navigate through my late 40s or my 50s. And
I want to travel. I want to enjoy the world. I want to do everything I couldn't do raising my daughter. And so if I want to pick up and go on a trip, I'm going to do it.
Well, and listen, not that you can't, because there are many people in their 40s and 50s that do that.
They do.
And they can navigate with small children. But for you, it's something that you've done and you've experienced, and you want the next chapter to look different.
Yeah, I've done that. I don't want to pick up kids and go. I want to be able to pick up kids. I want to go. Yeah. I want to go and continue to go.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
My other red flag?
Yeah, you said there was another.
Honestly, is the person who is not an effective communicator or even in touch with their feelings. And that is a big one for me. That's not
emotional
negotiable.
Maturity, somebody that's evolved.
Yep.
Right? Somebody, okay, that makes sense. What's a green flag?
A green flag, someone who is present and has time. Who shows up. Yes.
Who shows up.
Yeah. Like they do what they say. They're like, whatever, do you want to go do something? And I'm like, well, what? Today? Yeah. It's a Monday. Okay. That, I love that.
Makes you feel important. Makes you feel like a priority too.
Yeah. Yeah.
What would you say honestly feels better at dating at this stage in your life?
There's no pressure. There's no timeline. I don't have to worry about getting pregnant or having a family. Like I can just be like, I don't have to, I can go out on 10 dates with you.
Yeah.
And maybe that's enough.
I see bigger picture. I'm going even smaller though. I'm thinking the weekends. Like, I can go on a date if I want to, or I don't have to.
Yes.
Right. The pressure. Go back to the pressure. Yeah. I don't need that. I'm setting these rules for myself.
Yeah. And I think to that point is I think a lot of people overpromise and underachieve. And, like I'm a good communicator and I've worked on myself. And I went on this date, this guy, I worked on myself. And I go, what'd you do? Well, and I'm like, oh, so you just say that because that's what people want to hear, these buzz terms and terminology. It's like, but when I asked, what have you done? He had no answer.
Yeah. I'm glad you're saying that because it made me think there's the buzz terms and what's trending, and people hear these videos, and right now people are talking about, I'm in my healing era.
Oh, yes.
And you're like, okay, you're saying that and it looks good, but when you break it down, you're not doing a damn thing for healing and taking care of yourself.
No.
Right? So put your money where your mouth is.
That's right.
Show up and do the work.
That's right.
And that's what you're going to come to the table. I want to see growth. I want to see that.
Yeah. I want to see a mature male who is really ready to do the damn thing.
Guys, let's step up the game out there. Let's get it together and put some work into yourself, right? Because this will not only benefit you, but the other people that you're interacting with.
Yeah.
So Heidi, what would you say to the people that are out there and listening that are in their 40s and 50s? They're dating right now, but they're feeling a little bit discouraged because there's a lot to it.
There is.
What would you want them to hear?
Two things, really. I would say the first is that don't put all your eggs in one basket. I think I've found there's times where I'm like, ooh, this person's is great. And I'm going to get off all the dating sites and I'm going to put all my energy into this person. But then it isn't what I thought, or it doesn't come to fruition. And now I'm like, ugh. So we're on a dating app, which implies we are dating multiple people, and that's okay. And don't assume he is doing the same to you. He's probably not putting his eggs all in one basket. So unless you've had that conversation, don't assume that that's what's happening.
But it's a conversation that needs to be had.
It's a conversation.
Right? When we grow into that place, after several dates, what does that look like?
Right.
But take a step, because you're right. I hear so many people that come in and they're like, what? We just had an amazing date. And or 2 or 3, and he's still on the app. I know people that will
my
look.
God.
Have you seen that?
Yes.
Stalking through the, he's still on there. But I thought we had a great time.
Yeah. And you're like, and he did.
You're saying put it in check.
Put it in check.
Put it in check, people.
I am.
That's
the other, and the other one for me would be don't go on and off the apps. I did that. I was very guilty of it. I was on for 3 weeks, and then I'm like, I'm done. I didn't find anybody. I'm over these. And then this time I've been on consistently for probably about 3 months or so. And I literally have gone through the trenches, the ups and the downs, and I'm pushing through it. And now I'm starting to see I'm getting better at it. I know what to look for. I know the questions to ask. I know to not just take face value on everybody and to dig, like, what's going on?
This sounds so cliche, but it really is so important. It's a process.
It is.
It takes a while.
It does.
You know, one of the things that I've heard and that I can agree with is people at this stage in our lives, 40s and 50s, are coming in with full lives. You've mentioned, I got a career. I'm a therapist. I'm raising a 15-year-old daughter. I know your life is busy. I'm always hearing where you are and running around, not to mention your own self-help and healing and going to the gym and having girlfriend time, right? Our lives are full. That will affect the connection.
100%.
And people need to be aware of it. It may just take a little bit longer, but let's understand when we come in with full lives, how that can affect relationships and building new relationships moving forward.
And I agree with that. I think that I'm very upfront with my girlfriends are my besties. We are out and about a lot. My daughter is number one and my priority right now, for sure. And, you know, and somebody coming in has to understand that. And if they don't, that's okay.
It's okay.
I'm just not for you.
Cheers to you finding the one. And cheers to you growing, Heidi. And I see it and putting yourself out there. Not to mention, I love hearing all the stories.
I know, you live vicariously.
I live vicariously and I get the juice. And seriously, you should be proud of yourself. But as a good friend, I'm proud of you.
Oh, thank you,
because it does take
James.
a lot. And you're putting yourself out there. Thank you for having this time.
Thank
Don't get
you.
me emotional, girl, because I love you.
I love you too.
This is Living Life with James. Thanks for listening and being here with us.
Want to be a guest on Living Life with James? If you got a story or a message that you feel can inspire or help others, message me through my website or DM me on Instagram. I'd love to connect.